I call my nephew Simón because he's a brand new they, them. Y como dice Willy Colón, él es un gran varón. And he asked me, why do you call me Simón? I'm like, because there is no they, them translation for Spanish. So tú eres Simón. He's like, oh, but isn't that a man's name? I'm like, no, 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 no. There's a great big movie called Simón starring Al Pacino where Simón is an AI that he created that is a woman. So tú eres Simón. It's androgynous. As soon as I said that Simón was an androgynous name, ay, Dios mío, gracias, tío. Cayó. Because therapy will make a Latino stop talking to his family, but Latino music, especialmente salsa, will make you accept him. I'm reminded of this other song by Rubén Blade, Amor y Control, where he's just talking about how he has a family member that's on crack or on drugs, ¿verdad? Y hay que ayudarlo siempre. You always gotta help your family. Now that's toxic, okay? Most of salsa music has a toxic trait to it, okay? Que te dice, aquí está todo bien, el gran varón. It's like, oh, no se puede corregir un palo que nace doblado, jamás su tronco endereza. And that's true, you know, it's saying, say no to conversion therapy. Literally is what the song is saying, and ultimately he dies by the AIDS epidemic. Tú sabes, está difícil la cosa, pero hay que aceptarlo. That's a story that Willie Colon lived in. Amor y Control, it's a story that probably Ruben Blades saw from someone else. He turned it into a poem, ultimately turned it into a song. Los latinos sabemos aceptar lo malo y convertirlo en algo bueno. We know how to accept something that's bad and turn it into art, into something good, something that inspires others on how to live with that pain. Literalmente. I can't imagine, ¿verdad? That my brother-in-law who has el gran varón, ¿verdad? He can't feel any certain way because El Gran Varón, the song exists and it has existed for so long. So the fact that he tells me in conversation, oh, I can't believe, you know, on the side, I can't believe my son is a they, them. I'm like, what do you mean you can't believe it? Willie Colon has been talking about it for the past fucking 40, 50 years. What is so hard to believe? You should have expected it. My 17-year-old girlfriend getting pregnant by another dude and deciding to keep it. Decisiones, also by Ruben Blades. So many nights that I made the decision. Yo decidí si yo iba a manejar borracho y si iba a tener un accidente. That's the end of Decisiones. There's three fucking tales in Decisiones. One of them is the woman, the girl that she's pregnant. The other one is the neighbor that's trying to get with the other neighbor, but she's married and she tells her husband y pa que le mete la cabeza. The third one is un borracho que está guiando, tú sabes, y choca porque se come la luz. It's all very interesting how we just learn how to make things that are terrible, just like es life. C'est la vie. Personally, I've never heard the word of God porque siempre soy yo mismo hablando con mismo. Y es mismo, it's always me talking to me. It's my voice in my head telling me to go against what I'm already doing. That's El Nazareno de Ismael Rivera. If you've ever heard, El Nazareno me dijo que cuidará. He's saying that he was at a party and something told him to just leave porque something bad was going to happen. And that same something told him, take care of your friends, keep on singing, keep on dancing, keep on bringing life into this world. It was him, tú me entiendes? It's an explanation of, oh my God, why am I having this subconscious thought? Because we're both good and evil inside por dentro, como latino, con todo lo que hemos pasado. Nosotros tenemos este sistema. We have a system in our minds, especially when you have genetic trauma. And I believe that there is such a thing as genetic trauma. Que tú entiendes que hay algo como que puñeta, I should do this. You want to act out of that rage, out of that anger. And then you go, no, pero espérate, saner heads prevailed. I can just leave this situation, or I can just talk to myself and convince myself that everything is going to be all right. Now, I've never been through a divorce, but I've imagined it many times. Y por eso yo escucho la canción del Gran Combo Me Liberé. I'm just saying, it's a song called I Am Free, okay? And what is this man free of? All of the women that have been torturing all of in his whole fucking life. Me liberé de mujeres perversas que quieren hacer mi vida de cuadrito. Me liberé de chicas sin escrúpulos. Me liberé de Olga y Socorrito. Me liberé de Olga, Nancy, de Rebeca, también de Giselle. Me liberé también de Raquel. Gracias a Dios me liberé. You get free of all these bitches. ¿Tú me entiendes? He literally names them all. Now I wonder if those women were real or if they were just made up, but I think that they were real, porque si yo llego a hacer una canción de Me Liberé, empezaría con esta cabrona que está... No, I'm just saying. None of that shit flies during therapy, by the way. When I've talked to my therapist, she has told me that I am 1,000% right Most of the time, 90% of the time, I am 1,000% right, and my family has been wrong. Ellos quieren vivir en su toxicidad. They want to live in that toxicity, and it is not my job to change them. Ese es el problema con la terapia. The main problem with therapy is that you're the only one going, and unless everyone else is going, you still feel crazy. You even feel more crazy because now you're validated in that you're right. Imagínate que tú tengas a alguien certificado. You have someone that has studied this, went to a school for 8 fucking years, and they studied the human mind, and they're saying your human mind is correct. Tú estás bien, cabrón. Ellos están mal. What are you gonna do about it? You talk to them, you try to talk to them, y no hay nada peor. There's nothing worse than you talking therapy talk to a person that has never sat down in therapy. Te miran como que cabrón, cállate la boca, no seas tan pendejo. That's why they look at you like, motherfucker, would you shut the fuck up? What are you even talking about right now? They'll never understand. So you have to make the decision. Either you go to therapy or you listen to salsa. Porque they contradict each other, okay? Salsa is radical acceptance and everything's gonna be all right despite knowing that it isn't. Therapy is radical change. Like you want to change yourself and you come to the realization that you can't change anyone else. So it's a solitary fucking road. So is it going to be therapy or salsa? I'm in between porque tengo Imai Rivera playing y no sé. I had fun protesting, and after 10 hours on the picket line, I realized that it was a waste of fucking time porque teníamos el problema en común por no la solución. We only had the problem in common, but not the solution. Understand que puede ser un vacilón. You could have fun because you're eating, you're drinking, estás conociendo gente que tienen algo en común. You're getting to know people, and you already have this one thing in common. Some people miss work just to be there. No, I'm not talking about a recent protest. My protest was in 2007 when I was a student in la Universidad de Puerto Rico in Ponce, the Ponce University of Puerto Rico, and they were trying to raise the tuition. Los créditos lo estaban subiendo de 40, lo querían subir a 60. They wanted to raise the credit prices from $40 to $60, ultimately making the tuition more expensive, right? And we were like, no, you can't do that, blah, blah. And we were there, blah, and I'm meeting people, and you're in an echo chamber of bullshit, all right? And no one can agree on the actual goal. You talk to different people like, oh, so what do you think they should raise it at? Me? Nothing. What did they end up raising it at? 45. You see, they asked for 60, but they compromised at 45. 45 was the number that they fucking wanted. Today, it went up again to $57 in 2015. Today, 2025, it's $157. Their goal has been achieved because they have long-term ideals. Los de nosotros, we're out of school, so I don't care no more. So every single student that goes, to him, it's a brand new fight. They're starting at a different pace, ¿verdad? I started at 40. It's at 157 and 10 fucking, it's insane when you actually think about it because shit hasn't changed that much in Puerto Rico, and this guy is hanging right here. You see this? Porque me recuerdo yo cuando sacaron a Ricky Rosselló. Puerto Ricans did a thing back in 2019 and they took out the governor. They protested. Bad Bunny was a part of it. Residente was a part of it. Ricky Martin was a part of it. They made a governor quit. Que el gobernador se fue para el carajo. And who went in his place? One of his friends. Why were they so passionate about taking the governor out? Because chats leaked and he was homophobic and he was making fun of people that were famous. Ricky Martin being one of them, calling him, slurs, not racial slurs, because they're all the same race, kind of technically, not really. There is a lot of racism in Puerto Rico just by the color of your skin. Anyway, they took him out, right? And then a friend of his, una mujer, she was just there and did the exact same thing that he was going to do. His plans were basically followed by another person. What did we accomplish? What did you accomplish? Because I wasn't a part of it. Yes, I was vocal about it and I was excited. But then in hindsight, what actually happened? And then they voted for the same political party twice since then. ¿Qué hicieron? ¿Qué lograron? No lograron tres carajos. So you have to know your history. You have to see what the goal is. You have to know the goal. Right now, people are complaining about Luma. And I understand it's fucking crazy. People are paying astronomical prices for their electrical bill in Puerto Rico. where in the bill they have to detail what they're charging you with, and it's insane. People's consumption will be $40, but their bill will be $400 because they got to pay pensions, they got to pay for the shit that has to be done, and flora and fauna, and it's insane. When I tell you, it makes absolutely no fucking sense that the people of Puerto Rico are paying for shit that other politicians did. It doesn't make any sense. So what is it that you're protesting? You want to take, now they're saying that they want to take out the new governor, La Gordita, J-Glo, okay? ¿Pa qué? No van a hacer nada. No van a hacer nada si la misma gente quedan en control. If you're going to vote for the same political party again or the other political party again, you're not going to do... There is no fucking plan. Van a terminar todo ahorcado como Concho. Tú ves a Concho ahorcado. You guys are hanging yourselves because there is no fucking plan. Hay que tener un plan. Hay que tener alguna solución en común. El problema en común lo tenemos todo. Everyone has the same problem. But we need to have the same, we need to agree on the same solution. We need to have voting on Discord. We need to have communication through all of the platforms, Instagram, Facebook. Stop talking about just bullshit. I talk about bullshit a lot. Don't get it twisted. A mí me gusta joder, okay? I like to have a good time. I like to bullshit. Pero a la misma vez yo entiendo que las cosas van de mal en peor. Y eso es serio. No es que I'm not being hyperbolic and I'm not exaggerating. You could still go out and eat. Chévere, cool, but you got to work harder Monday through Friday. You got to make sure you're investing, and your investments can fall flat. There's a war. There's so many fucking things happening que en cualquier momento se te jode todo porque no hay un plan en común de solución. Lo único que tenemos es el plan de cómo revolucionarnos por un día, cómo vamos a ir a protestar por 2 días, cómo vamos a irnos en huelga 3 días. Y después, cabrón, ¿cuál es el actual plan? We need to come up with I know my plan. And I think my plan would work, but people disagree. I found out today via third party that my wife told all of her friends that I shave my ass. Y no importa si yo lo hago o no. It doesn't matter if I do it or not, and which I do. I will admit to that now. But the problem is que yo pensaba que eso se quedaba entre ellos. I thought that that would stay between us. Algo sagrado en el matrimonio. Something sacred within the matrimony. There is nothing. Women talk too fucking much. No hay necesidad de tú decirle a tu amiga todo. She shouldn't be saying everything to her friends, okay? Why is it that one of her friends' husbands calls me and asks me, hey, dude, how is it that you shave your ass? And I'm like, wait a second, what are we talking about? How do you know this information? Who is giving you? He's like, my wife told me that because your wife said it. Why is it that you do it again? And I said that it was a Puerto Rican thing because, granted, I did grow up in the early 2000s in Puerto Rico, donde lo que estaba a la moda, what was in fashion, what was in style, is that everyone shaved everything. Your legs, your armpits, your arms, your asshole, your balls, everything was shaved off. The reality is that when I was in high school, I remember this embarrassing moment that happened to a friend of mine, donde una mujer le iba a chupar el bicho. A girl was going to go down on him, but when she took off his drawers, apestaba culo. She said that even his dick smelled like his ass, and I was like, oh shit. Y ella, sí, eso es lo que pasa cuando lo tienen todo pelú. Cuando tienen ese culo pelú, ese bicho coge ahí, and it just soaks in all of the smell. So when you have a lot of hair, it just soaks in all the smell. And the smell, y ella dice, si vas a limpiar la carretera, if you're gonna clean the street, clean the whole street. Don't just clean the tip. Don't just clean like a part of the street. Don't just clean the sidewalk. Clean the whole street. And I was like, you know what? I remember that. That traumatized me. And there is such a thing as positive trauma. Es un trauma positivo because I've never been with a woman, wife included, que ella me diga a mí que el bicho me apesta. It's never happened, okay? Eso siempre está pristine. It has the hood. Mira lo que hace con el hood. Pop. You release the hood, and you put the hood back on. That's what you do. That's what you get used to. I was taught well, okay? And I was traumatized into learning que the smells from the back. You ever been walking in New York and you don't see any trash, but you keep going down and then there's trash? That's the same thing that can happen in your underwear. Si atrás está sucio, la peste llega hasta adelante. So I clean the whole fucking thing. I shave it off, and I tell the dude, listen, just use a navaja, use a gilet, whatever the fuck. Just shave your ass. Oh no, but is there some technique? I'm afraid of cutting myself. I'm like, you're not gonna cut yourself. What are you talking about? You don't cut yourself when you're shaving your face. Can you shave your face without looking? And you just do this. Same thing with your asshole. It's not that special. Practice around your lips. If you want to practice shaving your ass, practice shaving your mustache, because this lip and that sense down there is the same type of sensitivity. It's the same type of skin. So shave over here. Make sure that you get this, right? Shave this like 10 times. Then shave your ass. It's the same fucking thing. Ahora, why am I having this conversation with this dude that I don't even like? El tipo no me cae bien. Y yo le estoy dando consejos que le van a salvar la vida. Thanks to me, gracias a mí, ahora ese bicho se lo van a chupar siempre. He's always gonna get sucky now. Why? Thanks to me. Thanks to los consejos que yo tengo de mi vida. I'm granting it forward because at this point, who gives a fuck? More people are gonna find out thanks to him, ¿verdad? And I would rather you know that it came from me than it came from him. If there's gonna be a good idea out there that I came up with or my wife fucking ratted me out, pues fuck it, I'm gonna take all the credit, okay? So si tú conoces a gente que ahora de la nada se están, and people will say, you know, because I got this all the time. Oh, si tú te afeitas el culo es porque esperas visita. Oh, you know, if you shave your ass is because you're waiting for someone to go. It's like, dude, your wife, your woman, they will smell that. You think if you like tener your balls, si a ti te gusta que te chupen las bolas, ¿tú te crees que el culo tuyo está tan lejos? You think your ass is so far away that it's not gonna make a difference, that they might not see that and get scared? No, bro. You gotta take care. You gotta look the way that you want to be treated. You understand? Si tú quieres con una mujer, because nowadays, si tu novio no te todo el mundo está mamando culo. Si tú quieres que tu novia te mame el culo, pues tienes que afeitártelo, cabrón. You understand? You gotta be pristine. And my wife doesn't. Grant, I've tried many times to get her. No, mete mano ahí. No le gusta. It's fine. You know, I'm already married. I'm fucked. Not really. You get what I'm saying? So, there you go. Telling men that Goku was gay when they have the whole cast of Dragon Ball Z tattooed on their skin is diabolical work, but I am the devil y me encanta hacerlo. I love breaking it down. Este tipo es un extraterrestre. It's an alien that comes down to this world and all he wants to do is spend time with other men. Utiliza a la mujer. He uses his woman Chi-Chi as a cook, as a servant, as a potential surrogate, okay? All he does is implant her because he knows that his race has to last. La única razón por la cual él tiene hijos, the only reason he has kids is because his race was wiped out. Okay, so he knows that he has to procreate to make more of his race because otherwise they will die with him, okay? Vegeta comes along and instantly doesn't like Goku. Why doesn't Vegeta, the actual alpha male within the Saiyan race, hate Goku? Porque sabe que es Marihu, and he doesn't like it. Granted, it was probably common back in their, you know, in their planet, but Vegeta didn't like it. It's common here. Vegeta still doesn't like it. And you can tell by how Goku sees Vegeta, he falls in love with him immediately. Immediately when Goku sees him, oh my God, he just wants to be next to him, and I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to touch you all over, but afterwards, we need to be friends. We need to be in the sauna. We need to be in that time chamber forever, just the two of us. Porque, why? Because porque Goku lo único que le gustaban los hombres. Now, when you tell this to a guy that has a Goku tattoo that goes literally like all over his chest, normally Puerto Ricans, they have it on their leg from knee to ankle. They will have a Goku with Vegeta, the two lovers. Eventually Goku le gana. He defeats him. He convinces him como que mira cabrón. Tú y yo, tú sabes lo que tenemos que hacer, brother. Drop that soap. It's interesting to me that people don't see it. I noticed it when I was a kid. When I was watching it after school. Like I would see, and all this fuerza que están haciendo and all the veins. And I'm like, this is a lot of veins. Where else are there a lot of veins? Like out of nowhere. Pop. And it's like, oh, they're symbolizing that when they get Super Saiyan up, it's just an erect. This dude is fully ready to go. And there's nothing that they want more for you to get erected to. And it's two erected aliens that just are looking at each other. I was like, oh, wow. I love it though. Don't get me twisted. That I see nothing wrong with it. But if you didn't see it, I just want to bring it to light. How do you feel about your Dragon Ball Z tattoo now, sabiendo what it means, sabiendo que the director, the creator, Akira Toriyama, he kind of pointed to it by the characters that he made, and when he did make a character that did kind of swing the other way, he made him extra flamboyant, tú sabes, como que se nota legua, and ultimately killed him off de una manera que tú sabes rara. It was like when, you know, you hear of a shooting in a gay club and it's like, oh, that guy, he was hiding it, pero era la de ellos, and since he couldn't be happy, he didn't feel comfortable enough of opening that closet door, sticking his head out, and just walking freely. He thinks that everyone that did, they shouldn't be around. The same thing the director did now. Is all of this a joke? Or is all of this real? En verdad tú tienes un tatuaje de un personaje que es totalmente Ricky. You get what I'm saying? Is it true? There's different levels of sucking up, and in Spanish they sound way more derogatory, but there's only one of them that describes a este cabrón, the author of this children's book series. And thanks to this children's book series, he is now the director of the first acronym agency in the United States. I can't mention his name porque de seguro voy a estar más alto en la lista. I will be higher on the list that I for sure already am. But let's talk about it, because to be a suck up is just to be a lambón. And a lambón basically describes a liquor, okay? Imagínate una lengua de vaca. You've all seen a cow tongue at the fucking supermarket, right? So that licking a person's body, a suck up, like you suck up anything this person says and you take it as Bible. Now that's level 1. Level 2 is a teacher's pet, all right? And a teacher's pet in Spanish is un lambeojo. We're still licking, but now you're licking the eye. You're getting close. You're getting into that mucous membrane shit, right? Like you're licking this person. You're a teacher's pet. Teacher's pet sits next to the teacher's desk, right? And he rats out on all the other kids. That's what a teacher's pet is. Level 3 is an ass kisser. And when you think of what an ass kisser is, you got to spread them cheeks, and then you got to look at the brown mark or the black mark, and then you got to go in there. In Spanish, eres un lambebicho. Now, I can't translate that in English because it sounds way too much, but you know what I'm saying. Think of the same cow tongue, and you're just going all over Agents Orange, you know, the form thing. That's what he did. That's what he did with these 3 books, and it got him the job. So he is successful in that. Now, an Indian person sucking up to white people, that shouldn't happen based on just what happened in India, por favor. Imagínate, it doesn't make any sense to go on live TV, to throw a press conference, and to say la cosa nostra. He was waiting for this. He lives in fantasy world. He made himself the hero of these 3 books. He literally saves Agent Orange from Sleepy Joe and from Kamala Hamala. This is real. This is what these books are about. That's what got him in the position, and he could not wait to say la cosa nostra on TV. He arrested black NBA players from gambling. Every single mafia and gangster organization has always been created to protect the community that didn't feel protected by the powers that be. Eso es todo, okay? We needed to make our own money because the money wasn't trickling down. Trickle down economics has never worked for us, okay? Por eso que se crearon todas. That's why that exists. Now, why are they going after gambling and not the pedos? Because the gambling harms DraftKings and whatever other fucking sports betting agency there is. They don't want their money taken out, and they already applied the money to the campaign. So that's what the campaign, that's what that agency is going to work for. Not to mention that that's what that agency was created for in the first place. It's based in hate, based in racism. So the fact that this guy is now running it proves que él es un lambebicho. Now, the reason Starship Troopers is playing behind me isn't because there's another redhead that looks like Kate Winslet and you see her boobies at 1 hour and 21 minutes with 30 seconds. No, and it reminded me of Titanic. That's not the reason. But if you were paying attention to the 250th celebration of the Marines, right, and you notice that there's a guy on the podium and he is saying the same speech that is said in the beginning of a game called Helldivers 2, which that game is loosely based on this movie and what happens here, where bugs attack the planet and bada bing bada boom. This is all satire, okay? Everything that we're seeing on TV, everything that the president says or the director of whatever the fuck says, it's all fucking bullshit. It's for your eyes to make you think a certain way. Starship Troopers is a great fucking movie, by the way. The king of the Oompa Loompas did something cool, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. Acredito a quien se lo merece. I'm sure you saw the press conference where Trump says that the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, does not want to fuck with the United States of America. Se te infla el pecho. Your chest got big. You're like, yeah, but yet America all the way. It's us, all of us, against them and their army. What the fuck are they gonna do? And there's like, wait a second. What is it? Do they have an army in Venezuela? Let me see. Let me see the people that are listening. They're all over the age of 50, and they're using the weapons that were used in Apocalypto. They're literally with bows and arrows and pitchforks and machetes. It's like, you're not a threat. You're not a real threat. What the fuck are we talking about? And then he's posting video about how he blows up the boats in the middle of the ocean. It's like me. When I'm playing a video game and I do something cool inside of a virtual world, I look over to my wife. I'm like, you saw that? You saw that shit? How cool am I? Did you see that shit? Well, I'm going to take all of these motherfuckers out. It's like, I'm not doing anything, though. You didn't do that. Okay, and who is it? Who did you just blow up? We just saw a murder, okay? And you're playing around like, oh, this is virtual reality. No, motherfucker, that's real. It's not one of your AI videos where you're shitting on everyone on No King's Day that's doing a protest. Granted, I hadn't seen the press conference. Esto me lo envió un traidor. A traitor sent this to me. One of these Puerto Ricans for Trump, which is the same as a gastro doctor for White Castle. It's like gays for Chick-fil-A. It's like clowns for Burger King or kings for McDonald's. And how funny that our king actually loves McDonald's. Now, but for real, un chiste que no da risa. It's a joke that isn't funny because you're bullying the weakest kid, all right? It's like you're in a playground and you're bullying him and you're not even a child. You're the principal of the school, all right? You're so powerful that you could get him expelled, and that's what you're doing. And at the same time that you're saying fuck you to that country that has done nothing to you, by the way, you're saying to another country that has done something to you, come and build an airport over here. Yeah, we're going to say, yeah, just come and build an airport. Here, let me bend over for you. Don't even use lube y mete mano por ahí para abajo. Seguimos aquí, ¿ah? Seguimos aquí porque no podemos ir para ningún lado. Seguimos aquí. For 19 years, people have been making fun of this tattoo, pero who's laughing now? I combined my two favorite things in 2006, Ricky Martin and The Matrix, pero cuando yo le explicaba a la gente la idea, se burlaban de mí. When I would tell people the idea of combining the two things, they would make fun of me. I'm like, look at him. Look at how good that tattoo looks on the MTV Unplugged. Remember, he was looking like the Arabian Night, like Aladdin. He has the Arabian tattoo, and I love The Matrix. I love The Matrix lettering, living inside a simulation. La gente cabrón, te vas a ver mal. You're not going to look like Ricky Martin just because you get that tattoo. I'm like, bet, okay? I took it to the tattoo artist and he's like, cabrón, te vas a ver mal. You're not going to look like Ricky Martin. Don't get this tattoo. And I can't even do it. I'm like, why can't you do it? He's like, because the Matrix lettering doesn't actually exist. That's code, okay? Come to find out later, it was a sushi restaurant menu. No tiene ni fucking sentido. So I'm like, okay, I was in my Catholic era and I had seen the Passion of the Christ. The subtitles on the bottom were this, okay? I still tell people it's Matrix lettering. If you know, you actually know. But I don't even remember what this said. And I had to Google translate it and come to find out years later with the person that actually reads this language, it doesn't say what I thought it said. My girlfriend, super Mormon at the time, I come home with this tattoo. She left me for a week, okay? We were in a toxic relationship. We looked for any single excuse para dejarnos. Nos dejamos, estábamos con otra persona, después volvíamos. That's the relationship I was in. Pero ahora Ricky Martin lo ha visto. Me ha visto a mí por lo menos. He has seen my face and I'm just wondering, have I made this dude that inspired me back when I was 18, a los 18 años, this is what I got as a high school graduation gift for myself. The tattoo artist Gaby Tattoo in Ponce, Puerto Rico. I think he dated my mother afterwards. I don't know if he actually dated her, but he gave her a titty tattoo. I hated the tattoo. It's very weird. I have a complicated relationship with Puerto Rico and the people that I've met and my inspirations, but I have to say that Ricky Martin is still an inspiration porque el tipo no ha hecho nada malo. It's crazy that you can follow someone for years on end, that you could be admiring someone and they never let you down. Isn't that insane? Because all of our heroes at some point let us down. Y este cabrón, este buena persona. And I'm a real fan. Yo no soy como Molusco que dice, sí, yo soy fanático número uno de Ricky Martin. ¿Dónde está tu tatuaje, cabrón? Molusco, where's the tattoo proving where I'm getting this removed? Don't get it twisted. I'm getting all my tattoos removed, all this whole arm. I might get the Mount Rushmore of Puerto Rican. Ricky Martin, Héctor Lavoe, Mael Rivera, ¿quién más? Frankie Ruiz, podemos poner por ahí. All jokes aside, even before I got the tattoo, I've always been emulating and trying to become a VIP, a very important Puerto Rican. And I have to thank this VIP and Ricky Martin for 50% of the idea of this conversation starter, de conversaciones que yo no quería empezar. And it just goes to prove decisions that you make at 18 should not last forever, at least not all of them. Mi asignatura pendiente es sacármelo pa'l carajo porque it was never mine to begin with. I borrowed it from him. So, gracias. If we're arguing in English y yo empiezo a hablar en español and I start talking in Spanish, I won the argument because your vocabulary is limited to my English anger and you will never understand my Spanish passion. Las emociones están saliendo en español por alguna razón, puñeta. The Spanish emotions are coming out because the English language does not allow me to translate how it is that I'm feeling in this vocabulary. So te tengo que hablar en español para que tú entiendas, puñeta, que se acabó lo que se daba. ¿Tú me estás entendiendo? So when I'm telling my wife that I don't want to waste my hunger. And yes, wasting your hunger on specific food is a first world problem, okay? Sí, porque yo trabajo con cojones, and sometimes yo no quiero comer para sobrevivir. I just don't want to eat to survive anymore. I want to eat to enjoy the food while I'm surviving, right? So when she tells me, no, vamos a comer pollo a la brasa, Peruvian food, and it's like, all right, that's not bad, pero hay un restaurante puertorriqueño al lado. If there's a Puerto Rican restaurant next to a Peruvian restaurant and you're talking to a Puerto Rican, bing, 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 I'm gonna want Puerto Rican food. Yo quiero arroz con gandules, si tienen un pernil, si tienen pasteles, aunque it's out of season, not really, ya mismo va a ser noviembre. Why are we having this conversation? No, que si arroz chaufa, you mean rice with eggs and green shit. It's like, it's not bad. I'm not trying to knock Peruvian food. That's good for you. Que si lomo saltado, great, perfecto, una chuleta a la jardinera, no hay break, puñeta, you understand? It's like, I get it, my wife likes to, she has the FOMO and let's try every fucking restaurant, y yo lo que quiero es lo que me gusta, puñeta. Don't make me waste my hunger on food that I'm not going to love. If I'm paying $50 regardless for fucking dinner, I want to enjoy those fucking ¿Tú me estás entendiendo? Am I wrong? Y yo empiezo a hablar en español y ya, pues yo no voy a argumentar contigo, voy a comprarle la comida peruana.